Let's make sure we're good to go, please.
We're just live on the business page.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's correct.
Confirm.
Uh-huh.
Are we live on Facebook right now?
Yeah.
What's up, y'all? John and Nadia Melton.
Check the business page, please.
Coming to you live with mylifestyleacademy.com. And this is session number 1, module 1 for the re-recording of the ATM Business Academy. And it's going to be legit. It's going to be fire. It's going to be exciting. We're going to cover some very detailed information today. And remember, we're going live, re-recording this entire academy 5 days in a row, every day here on this business page. This is generic. Doesn't matter what network marketing company you are in, you are a part of. You can plug in, you can tune in. It'll be 12 p.m. Eastern, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Okay, 5 modules, 5 sessions. We're going to crush it. We're definitely live right now.
Yes. So we need to go live.
Okay, there we go. We're live.
Okay.
Now, can they hear us?
Hi, guys. All right.
You see the comments?
Let me just make sure. So I'm going to do.
When I click on it, I see this.
A little roll call. I know. I think we need to just delete it.
Yeah, let's delete that one because that's the alert I'm getting, actually.
Okay. We need to delete.
Now, people are on, but why don't I see that?
Okay. So no, I pinned the thing to the top and now I don't see it. Are we no longer live?
No, it says we're live.
Okay, good. Okay. Thank you guys so much for your patience. Let us know in the comments below. Where are you tuning in from? Let us know that.
Yeah, there's definitely volume, so we're good.
Okay, we're volume. Okay. All right. So you guys, let us just give you a little bit of housekeeping rules. This is not going to be your usual Facebook Live that we do. Now, we're still going to do a Money Monday with the Meltons tonight, but for the next 5 days, starting today at 12 noon, we're going to show up and we're going to deliver this new curriculum. So we're re-recording our ATM Business Academy. We're turning it into 5 modules of content. So essentially, we went through and fine-tuned our processes, and we identified things that really move the needle for us in our business. Now, this is going to be really, really good for you if you are building a network marketing business. We also have people that are real estate agents or people that are in the insurance business that are able to follow the steps and employ the system and crush it in their business. So essentially, I want you to think about like this curriculum here is where you can learn how to create a simple, duplicatable system. And the reason why we love to speak to network marketers, right? Number one, it's the industry that we grew up in. If we're meeting for the very first time, thank you so much for being here. We're so psyched you're here. We've grew up in the industry, right?
Right.
And also, when you take a look at internet marketing, it can get pretty technical. It can get pretty intense. So when you're looking at, duplication strategies, you always have to look through the lens of, okay, is this simple? Can this be duplicated? And so with that filter is kind of what we created. So over the next 5 days, I want you to get fired up and literally show up live because this recording is going to happen for you. You can tune in for free. Each session is going to be available for 24 hours. So you're going to be able to watch this session until tomorrow at 11:59 a.m. And then at 12 noon, when we go live with module number 2, we're going to take this down. For those of you guys, let me know also if you're already a student of our ATM Academy, let me know in the comments, because you are going to get grandfathered into this new curriculum once we edit it, once we upload it into your member area. We're also upgrading all the PDF downloads, printables to help you really conquer the curriculum and optimize it and put it into work right away. Because look, information is awesome, but the reason why you're here, I'm guessing, is because you're looking for organized knowledge. That's where it is. Organized knowledge, no fluff, no outdated strategies. And this is something that John and I really pride ourselves on, right? We want to be able to show up and give you guys just straight to it. 1, 2, 3's ABCs of what to do today that works, right? This is not theory.
Right.
This is not us Googling some different topics and ideas to just teach you to teach. No, this is the stuff that legit works. So we're
And
excited
also,
that you're
let
here.
us know in the comments how many of you are using the ATM strategy to build your network marketing business, to acquire customers, to expose people to your opportunity. And if you don't know what ATM is, add tag message. We add people to a group, we tag them in some information, we send them a message, but we're going to break it down today. We're going to show you how to optimize and maximize your Facebook groups. And some of you, like if you're brand new, you don't even have the ATM system in place. We're going to show you how to set it up.
Okay, cool. Awesome. All right. So let's go ahead and dive in. First of all, if we're meeting for the first time, John, why don't you do this slide actually? That would be amazing.
So if you don't know us, John, Nadia, we've been in network marketing now for a hot minute since 2001. We actually met in network marketing. And over the last several years, we've really dialed in systems and strategies to leverage social media, not just for us. Like we obviously put out a lot of content. We've been attracting leads and putting out videos and trainings and tools and resources that help network marketers build their businesses from home. But here's the truth. We built offline for many years. In fact, we built offline for more years than we built online. So we really figured out what works, what doesn't work, and most importantly, what duplicates. How many of us would agree? Drop it to the comments. Let us know. How many of us would agree? What's most important is not what works for you, but what works for your team, right? Helping people with what to post, helping people with content creation, helping people with follow-up and closing and all the things that are most important. So we've become top 100 income earners in network marketing, because we simply figured out systems and strategies to help our teammates have more success and really create freedom. I think that's the biggest thing that attracted me to using social media to build my business. Because as much as I wanted residual income and leverage, if I'm out doing home meetings and on the phone doing three-way calls all the time, how is that freedom? It's not. So 20 years in the profession, we've got one of the top 100 teams in all of network marketing. Over the last 4 years alone, our organization has sold over $150 million in product on social media in 12 months. Just this last 12 months, 7,600 rank advancements, 163,000 new customers, and 9,200 new business partners. And I want to point this out. This is what excites me. Because how many of us want to build a real business? We don't want to be a part of some pyramid scheme where it's all about recruiters recruiting recruiters to recruit recruiters, right? We want to teach you. We want to help you with onboarding your new people so they get really good at customer acquisition. That's a 17 to 1. If you actually do the math on that, that's 17 new customers for every one new distributor. And all of you can have this. It doesn't matter if you're selling lotions, potions, pills, water filters, skincare, hair care, cleaning products, knives, bowls, beads, pots, pans, jewelry, legal service, travel service. Anyone can do this. Look, I don't know. We just spoke at a mastermind recently, a real estate and business owner mastermind with all 7-figure business owners and real estate investors. And guess what? They want leads. They want to build their personal brand. They want systems and tools in place to use social media to build their traditional businesses. But we mostly specialize, which Nadia mentioned, in teaching network marketers how to build their businesses to create profits, to help you create systems so that you can create independence. Isn't that what it's all about?
It is.
Like I wanted to bring people on board and plug them into a real system. System, if you're taking notes, stands for save yourself, time, energy, and money. A lot of us have kids. A lot of us have other interests, other responsibilities, maybe hobbies, things we like to do. We don't want to have to work our business 100 hours a week to be successful.
That's right.
So that means we need some duplication. We need some leverage. We need tools. We need systems. We need to automate some of the processes. So in module 1 today, we're going to dive deep. I'm really excited because over the next 5 sessions, we're going to bring you our best strategies, give you examples of how to create your ATM funnel, how to optimize it, and really use Facebook groups the right way to get the most bang for your buck. We're also going to talk about launching your business using the ATM system, how to create curiosity and attraction marketing secrets that flat out work. ATM prospecting, follow-up, closing. We're going to give you scripts, all the things you need to have success. Module 4 is going to be all about leadership development, team building, onboarding, and duplication. And then session 5, you're not going to want to miss this because we're going to talk about lead generation using Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. How many of y'all are loving the tick to the talk? Are you using TikTok? Because I can tell you that short form video is the now, it's the future. Even if TikTok goes bye-bye, sometimes people are like, is it going to get shut down? Is China going to, who knows? But here's what I do know. Short form videos are the future. Look at Instagram Reels, Facebook, YouTube, all these other platforms are coming out with their own short form videos. So this is the future. You want to be ahead of the curve. What's really attractive about an online network marketer is being ahead of the curve. Like, people want new, they want strategies that work. They don't want to do the same old, same old. They don't want to just post 5 times a day before and after pictures and brand the company versus brand themselves. So we're going to get into some of the nitty gritty today in this conversation. Take notes, be a part of it. Should I also mention the replay situation?
Yeah.
I know you mentioned it, but we had a lot of people that got on a few minutes late.
Why don't you go ahead?
This content is only available for 24 hours unless you have our ATM Business Academy. So here's the dealio. The ATM Business Academy, the price point's going up to $297. This week and this week only, you can get it for $97. If you go to,
we're going to share the link.
We're going to have the link. Okay, there we go. So you can get it for essentially,
and we'll link to it. So you guys,
we'll
if you're watching this on a replay, right now we're all live. We're going to go through the content. Once we're done, we're going to go ahead and update the description. So you can just go up and click on that link. Now you can watch each session for free for that 24 hours. And we're going to show up right here on a business page every day, Monday - Friday at 12 o'clock noon Eastern Standard Time. And then before the following session, the previous session is going to come down. So we wanted to give you an opportunity essentially to peek behind the curtain, be the fly on the wall, right? See the kind of content that we teach. And then you go, listen, if you don't pay for the academy, this week is going to be transformational for you. I know it.
Exactly.
Even if you walk away with just a couple of ideas, couple of workflows, if you implement, you're going to see results. For those of you that go, wow, this is so good. I actually also want PDFs that go along with the curriculum. I want the recordings of this curriculum. Obviously, there's going to be processing time. Our team works really, really hard. There's designers, web developments. There's a lot of stuff, right, that goes into the development of this, right? So if you want the recordings, we're going to share with you how to go ahead and get involved. But if you're an existing member of our ATM Business Academy, you don't need to re-sign up. Isn't that funny how that works? As soon as we go live. As soon as we go live. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, so let me know. Also, our team is on live with us as well right this second. Baby, I love that outfit you got on.
I know. I had to, expose the shorts. But the bottom line is we're going to be teaching you what we teach our team.
Yeah.
Right. What we help our team do. So I think you're going to get a lot of value from this. And actually, we have, people from our own team that are watching this as well. So the bottom line is you're going to love it. I would highly recommend plugging in every day.
Yes. Share with your team. And again, if you're already a member, if you're a student of our ATM Business Academy, you're going to get the recordings already. So you're grandfathered in. You never have to.
Grandfathered. You're gonna be all grandfathered in.
Oh my gosh, disclaimer. English is my second language, right? At times it runs away from me for sure. And you guys, on a good note, John and I, basically the way that we structured each session is we're going to give you structure. We're going to give you bullet points, the skeleton of our training. But then I wanted to have flexibility because we're also monitoring your questions. So we don't want to leave any stones unturned.
Right. We're going to do our best to answer questions at the end. If something easy comes through while we're talking, we'll try to handle it. But it is tough for us to do the training, do Q&A throughout. So try your best to just hold your question till the end, and then we'll knock out some of those questions, because sometimes stuff to us makes a lot of sense, but maybe you're new, or maybe you've been using Facebook groups. Maybe there's something that you want us to elaborate on, but that'll be on like session 3, right? So just hang tight and let's get into it. I'm excited.
Okay, cool. All right. So let's go ahead and get started. How many of you all can relate to this beautiful old school funnel, I like to say, right? So when John and I were building our business belly to belly back in the 2000s,
Right.
it's crazy to say out loud, but this was the old school funnel. And the reason why I wanted to showcase this for you is I want you to start to think about your business as a system, as a workflow. That needs to be some steps that you're going to take your prospects through in order for them to have the proper time to evaluate the details, and then see the social proof, right? They get to see the information so they can make an educated decision. So back in the day, the way that we used to do it is we would get an interesting prospect, usually cold calls. We used to run resumes. We used to run ads, the traditional old school ways before social media, which how many of you, can we just drop a comment into the comments? Let me know if you're uber grateful for the fact that all of us now can build our business virtually. We can use social media. Now there's so many different choices for the type of platform that works best for you and for the way that you want to show up, right? Anyways, back in the day, the struggle was real. It was there. And then once we acquired an interesting person, then we would have them show up at a public business reception.
And what Nadia means is an interested person. So it doesn't matter if they're actually interesting. He kept saying
Oh, really?
an interesting person. Like some of the people actually were not all that interesting, and some of them were a little too interesting. But an interested prospect, we would,
Oh my
yes,
gosh.
exactly. We'd invite them to a weekly meeting, a PBR. We'd follow up and then get them to the Saturday training. And I think it's really important to understand that that is a funnel. That's an offline funnel.
Mhm.
That's an old school funnel. Does it still work? Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't imagine doing
100%.
meetings with masks or doing meetings and then having to call everybody. I mean, most people don't give out their cell phone these days. It's kind of funny if you think about it. But I think ultimately ad tag message is just a better, more duplicatable way to build your business, especially if you're wanting to build it online. You're wanting to build it from home.
Mhm.
So you get that interesting prospect that's interested in your business or your product,
Yeah.
and you add them to a group. You tag them in some information and you send them a follow-up message, all the things we're going to cover. But I liked this because it was, number one, all online.
Yep.
Number two, it was very simple to duplicate. And I think that's the most important aspect of our system is the duplication piece. Someone can literally join and start enrolling customers right away. They can start adding people to the groups right away. Annabelle, literally using this strategy, $130 in less than 30 minutes, posting on her story. One of the things we'll talk about, right? Lauren Giulio, ATM system has helped me generate leads and it's helped over 1,000 people with what you all shared. Jenny says she's number 16 earner in her network marketing company because of this system. Now, why do we always push Facebook groups? I think the important thing to understand, number one, is Facebook is pushing groups.
Yeah.
Facebook wants to push these online communities. And a well-run Facebook group allows you to leverage the excitement and expertise of others. You can close more prospects. Here's the other thing that I like about it is you can have people in that group for days, weeks, months, years, just marinating. I've had people literally reach out to me after they were in the group for months or longer and say, hey, I'm ready to order the product. Hey, I'm ready to get started in the business. And it's great because it kind of indirectly does some of the follow-up for you. New people getting started can tag their prospects in a piece of content before and after, an interview, a live video that was done days, weeks, months, or even years prior to them getting added.
Talk about leverage.
Yeah, it's
Talk
so
about
genius.
leverage.
And I think this is the power, right? It's 24/7. Like inside of our ATM groups, we've got people that are literally in that group in different cities, states, and countries, ATMing people, right? ATMing their face off, getting people in the groups all hours of the day, whether, we're available or not, they're still working their business. They're not relying on a weekly meeting, a home meeting. They're not just sending them YouTube videos and then people get sucked into that rabbit hole, right? So Facebook groups is powerful. And here's the other thing about Facebook groups. As far as I know, at this point, they're the only social media platform that has groups really dialed in. Now, could you still use other platforms for lead generation?
Mm-hmm.
Are there other ways to communicate with your teams? Sure. But you have to admit that there's nothing like a Facebook group. There's no other platform that has groups, private online communities really dialed in like Facebook.
I
So
love
it's
it.
just here to stay. It just makes sense to create a group for exposure to your products or opportunity. And you want to identify the purpose of these groups. So you can take a screenshot of this if you want, but simply put, we have a group that helps us get customers, that educates people on our hero products. We have short little videos in there on the hero products. We have before and afters, testimonials, etc. We have a business group for the purpose of enrolling people in our business, educating them on the compensation plan, getting started, the different packages. There's interviews, there's recognition. And then we have a training group. Now, here's the beauty of a training group. In the training group, you teach them how to market on social media, how to launch their businesses, how to use the ATM system. In the training group, you're teaching them how to use the other two groups to generate leads, sales, build a team, duplicate all the things that are most important to achieve success. You know, could we create like an email funnel and a drip campaign and a capture page and a YouTube channel, all these things? Sure. Is that simple and duplicatable? No. Some of those things could be add-ons, they could be advanced trainings, but this is such a simple way for the average person to get started. And this is why we have countless leaders from so many different companies that share these steps to success for online duplication. Like we have people from literally just about every network marketing company you can imagine that are involved in this academy, that are using this system to build their businesses virtually all over the world. And I just think it's so exciting. It doesn't matter if you're selling insurance, it doesn't matter if you're selling a product, it doesn't matter if you're selling travel, it doesn't matter what you're selling. It makes sense to have an ATM group in place for exposure.
I love it. Okay, so let's talk about this. If you already have your groups in place, can you let us know in the comments? I'm really curious. Do you have one group for product ATMing? Do you have one group for business? Did you combine them? And then John, can you talk a little bit about if somebody is brand new, they don't have ATM system set up at all, where do we start? Should we start out with a team training group? Should we start with the product, the business? How would you recommend that we go ahead and integrate?
It's really tough because it depends on whether this is a brand new person or a leader. Most leaders at this point have a team training group. So you could simply set up a group to expose people to your products and opportunity. That's how we started out. We started out with really before anything, our very first Facebook group for business building purposes was a training group. And what we did is we added prospects to the training group. So they would get added to the groups and they would get tagged in some information. Even though it was a training group, they would actually join the team and now they're already trained. The problem was we had so many people as our team got bigger. We had so many people getting added to the group, the training group, which is like the most important online community you have because you want to help your people have success. And, you know, the truth of the matter is we had a lot of network marketers from other companies. This is back in like 2013, 14, but we had people from other companies in our group, just like, you know, in there for the purpose of like, number one, trying to take our ideas. And then number two, and this was really awkward, they were in there like prospecting. They had no idea because people, this was the problem back then. There was no approval process, right? It was just everybody could get added. Anybody could join a group. So thank goodness it's different now. But what we started with after that, once we had this ATM system figured out, we started with, and this was inside of our company. This wasn't just us. This was like the key leaders inside of our company. We created a group, corporate, literally created a group that we could all use to add people that were interested in our weight loss products. That's how it started. And we would just tag people before and afters, and we would, you know, challenge people to share their testimonial and incentivize them to do so. And it was great because it became this quick success of growth using the group to get people the information on the products and help them make a buying decision.
I love it. Now, also this kind of clarity and system, this could work for any business, right? Like we were just at the real estate mastermind. This is a beautiful exposure process. So I want you to think about exposure process. I want you to think about how can you work together as a team. So if you're just getting started and you have created results and maybe your company doesn't have any kind of system, I would look to identify either some sidelines, maybe some uplines.
Right.
I wouldn't try to get my own group happening
Right.
because it's going to take bandwidth. It's
If you're
gonna
brand new.
take, if
Right.
you're brand new, right?
Right.
Or if you are a part of an organization that has an ATM group, you plug in with that.
Mhm.
I am all about how can we just simplify to
Right.
multiply, and how can we do less? How can I bring my genius, right? But how can we plug into a network, a system, something that's already working?
Yeah, and even before we created the ATM system and the ATM Business Academy, way back in the day, we also created our personal brand.
Mhm.
And we used a Facebook group, which has over like 30,000 network marketers and online entrepreneurs in it. And that started out with just, wanting to create an exclusive private
Aha.
community.
Did you guys catch that?
Yeah.
Exclusive.
Yeah, there you go.
Baby, you crushed
So even
it.
like
Yes.
we some of our
Yes,
top
please.
leaders, we have them out there building their personal brands, and maybe it's a keto brand, right?
Mhm.
So they're plugging people into their private group. It's all about keto and it's all about exercise and diet. And so you could even use this strategy down the road for those of you that are really wanting to level up for brand building purposes, meaning building your own online community to attract people to you. And then, from there, inside of that group, you'll generate leads, and then you can plug them into your ATM group. So that's like a next level ninja tip, right? For those of you that are like, yo, I'm ready to build my brand. Like, would this make sense for real estate? Would this make sense for, me wanting to build my own community? Abso-freaking-lutely. We were one of the first ones. In fact, I think we were the first ones that I know of, at least, that created an online community for network marketers.
Mhm.
This was back in like 2014. Most people didn't even know what a Facebook group was back then. So I'm just telling you, Facebook groups still today are extremely powerful. And here's the other thing. I don't know if you guys have noticed this. I know I've noticed this, but when I scroll through my newsfeed, a lot of times I'm seeing posts. The majority of the posts I'm seeing in my newsfeed are from the groups that I engage in. And I want to point that out. Engage in. So if you add someone to an ATM group, but they never accept the invite, or they accept the invite, but they never engage, they're probably not going to see your stuff, which is also kind of a good thing, because if you keep track of your leads, you can go back and tag them in new content and not feel like you're bombarding them, because they're in the group. That doesn't mean they're seeing all the posts in the group. It's a lot like our profile, right? We post on our profile, but only a small percentage of our friends and followers actually see our posts. So just realize there are some intricate details that we'll kind of talk about throughout, but I'm just excited because I think so many network marketers are crushing it using this system, and we're going to show you how to optimize it to get the best results.
Very cool. And outside of network marketing as well, y'all.
Yeah.
Okay. Now let's talk a little bit about analytics. There's a couple different ways that you can go about setting up your Facebook group. There's a public group, there's a private visible group, and there's a private hidden group. Now, us personally, I don't really see the value in a public community. As you can see here, it's anyone can find the group, anybody can see who is in it and what members post. So I feel like there's really no exclusivity to it all. Now there's a private group, and then there's, as you can see, subcategory. You can make it visible or you can make it hidden. The visible group means anybody can see the group. So if they know the name of the group, they can go into Facebook search bar, they can type it in, they can find it, but only members can see the post. We prefer, for the ATM purpose, to use private hidden group. So that way, if somebody just searches, for the name of the group, they cannot find it, which means only members can see the group, who is in it, and then they invite their prospects. Maybe speak to why that is what makes it really, really
so
powerful.
important. It protects the integrity of the group.
Okay.
So you can see who's adding who to the group. When it's private, it's hidden. The only way to get in the group is you are added by a member. And then that way, if down the road, and this just happened recently, someone said, hey, I'm ready to get started. So the person that asked that question, or, hey, how do I get started? What's the link? Whatever. I think it was to actually join the business. It could have been a customer that was interested in buying product, but either way, it was easy for one of the other members to go in, click on the person, and find who they were added by and tag that person. This is important because over the course of weeks, months, years, you're going to have all these people added to the group, some of which are not going to remember who added them.
Right.
And maybe the person that added them quit, left the group. So they'll be able to see, okay, well, who's the upline to that person? So you're really protecting the integrity, because this is obviously paramount in using a group. It's kind of like when we did weekly meetings.
Right.
Like if someone was invited, we want to know who they were invited by, because we didn't want anyone feeling like, oh, I invited someone to the meeting. They got, they were stolen, right? Like this kind of thing happens in network marketing. So just make sure that that is a part of your training, part of your conversation, especially as your group gets bigger, or even in the beginning when you launch it, that, hey, if you didn't add them to the group, you can't sign them up.
That's right.
Period. End of story. Now, are there situations where maybe somebody was added and, they know other people in the group? Sure. In that case, people are not technically obligated to sign up with the person that added them. If they have like 17 friends in the company, they can pick and choose who they want to join. But if it's a situation where it's like someone goes, oh, my friend Bob is in the group, I'm going to go ahead and just prospect him. No, that is not okay. And I think we can all appreciate why that would not be okay. If Bob didn't talk to him first, you know what? Hey, snooze, you lose. You should have talked to him, right? That'll create some major FOMO moving forward. You better talk to all your people. But ultimately, it really helps having a private hidden group, because you can see who added who to the group. And remember, if someone's added to the group, they can't see the information until they accept the invite. You can't tag them until they accept the invite. So they have to approve the invite, and then you can tag them in some information. Cool beans.
Perfect.
And I see some questions coming through. Again, at the end, we will answer some questions. It's really tough for us to answer questions throughout. It'll make the training way too long. Plus, we'll probably cover some of the questions throughout. All right, so let's talk about naming your group.
I love it. Okay, so I want you to think about something memorable, something easy to spell, but also make sure that the name is in compliance with your company, right? So your company might have specific rules, regulations about whether or not you can actually use the name of the business in the ATM group. So it's a little bit technical, but I would just ensure, right, that you go ahead and double check that. For the description, I want to encourage you to just create something simple. I want to say simple copy, short paragraph that explains the purpose of the group. Okay. Clarity equals power. You're going to have a lot of new people coming into it. You also want to like future pace and anticipate the fact that some of your teammates are just going to be trying to add a bunch of people without doing the proper explaining of why they're putting people in the group. You know what I mean? So you want to kind of like think ahead, and you want to explain the purpose. And we're going to give you an example of like a welcome post, right? So you can just kind of see what that looks like. Now, for those of you that are perfectionists, can I just speak to you a little bit? Because I know that we're going to give you a lot of analytics, some steps, some things. I don't want you to get overwhelmed, and I want you to have the mindset of just start out ugly and improve as you go. Because nowadays we do live in the world that's so like branded that it's intimidating. Do you know what I mean? So you just got to create a skeleton, have that mindset. I'm going to create the skeleton. I'm going to create the name. I'm going to create a simple description, right? And then you can prove it as you go. Okay.
Yeah. And another thing too, come up with some ideas for what you want the name of the group to be called. And then you can just ask your team, like, hey, let's vote. Here's the top 3 choices so far. Which one do you like best? And that way you get your team involved and get them excited about being a part of the group. Remember, the ATM group strategy and just using groups in general, it's not meant to be just one person doing all the heavy lifting, one person running the group, doing all the posting. This is a community. So you want everyone to participate. Yes?
Yes.
Then you should absolutely get your teams involved in creating the name of the group. And you're going to have admins, you're going to have moderators. So for the best support, there should be several admins. Usually there's like, team leaders, top producers, people that are helping with the group, people you trust, maybe people that have been around for a little bit. Like I wouldn't have like brand new people moderating the group, right? It's typically leaders that, are kind of, they understand like some of the most important things about the company, the products, the company, comp plan, stuff like that. And I think there should be, moderators, admins that all are on the same page with, participating and helping out with the group. You can have them go live in the group. You can have them do all the things we're going to talk about throughout this training. But I think it's really cool that this is a community that works together for the greater good to provide value. It's not just pitching and selling your company and product. It's everybody working together to make this a well-run community, so that more people want to be a part of it and more people want to buy your products and join your team. It's expose, involve, upgrade. Write that down. We learned that years ago when we were building offline. Expose them to the products, expose them to the community, expose them to the culture. You know, exposure is the first step, but then you get them involved. You're introducing them to other leaders. You're introducing them to the other products you offer, not just the hero product, right? You're showing them maybe the products in the beginning, but then they're interested in the business and you upgrade them. You get them more engaged in what you're doing, more engaged in wanting to not just use the product, but promote the products.
Upgrade their commitment to build the business, to show up consistently. Yes. I love it. Okay. Now, I'm not going to get into super analytics here, but if you want to take a screenshot of this, and can we talk about the fact that nowadays you can Google anything, right? Google that stuff, as I like to say. So if in the back of your mind right now, you go, oh, how do I do this? Or what's the step to activate this?
Right.
Just jot it down in your notes. And then when we're done with the curriculum, you can just go to YouTube and say, how do I start a Facebook group? Now there's like simple instructions, right? Because at the time of the recording, those are the steps. But as you guys know, with social media, any platform, they continue to tweak stuff. One of the things, John, you say that cracks me up, you go, yeah, I feel like there's employees that work for these different social media platforms. Their whole job is just to kind of mess with the features.
Like they need to have a reason they're employed. So they change things, things that make no sense. And I'm like, why did you change it? And it's like, because a person has a job and they got to say, hey, look what I did. I changed something.
But we are used to the logs. Like we like the way it works. Anyways.
Stop it right now.
It's simple. So you're going to set it up. Step 4, you're going to start inviting people. Start with your core group of your teammates. You have to add at least one person in order to create the group. And people need to accept your invite before they can join. Okay. Personalizing your group. Okay. You want to definitely have some sort of cover photo that features the group's name. Remember, clarity equals power and less is more. So the more that you can, what's that word? Regurgitate. How does it go? Regurgitate.
Rejuvenate?
Regurgitate. Regurgitate. What the hell?
That's just so hilarious. Regurgitate.
Yes.
The more you can regurgitate.
Thank you.
There you go.
I thought it was important accent on my point right here. The more essentially that you can repeat the same thing, right? Name on the group, the features of the group, the purpose of the group, the better. So for the cover photo, I am a fan also of using a professional. And nowadays, you guys, I want you to really think global. You can now hire people internationally for pennies on the dollar. Specifically, if you're living in the US, it might sound intimidating. Oh, I need to hire a designer. But if you go to websites like 99 Designs, Fiverr.com, Upwork.com, you can hire a professional for as little as $5 to $10, $15 per graphic, and they can just create that look and feel that's not intimidating, that's dressy, because also I do like the idea of it being, upscale, and people, kind of have that brand recognition, right, with the group as well.
Yeah, and that is how you spell Fiverr.com, by the way. People, there's 2 R's. Is that a myth? No, that's it. Fiverr.com. How many of you have used Canva, Fiverr.com, 99 Designs? What's beautiful about 99 Designs, you don't have to pay for it until you decide you want to use it, correct? You can have people like compete. So anyway, a lot of people are familiar with these sites these days, but some of you, maybe you never used it before, and it's not expensive. It's really not. It's such a great way to find wonderful people that can make graphics. I know some of you are thinking, I suck at graphics. I suck at creativity. It's okay. You probably have some teammates that are creative. Upline, downline, sideline. Tag them in this information. Share this in your training groups. Get them to watch this, and you can work together to either create an ATM group or optimize your already existing group.
I love it. Okay, step number 6, you want to make sure that you set your group type to social learning. And this has to be my very favorite part about using Facebook groups.
Yeah.
Either it's for training purposes, exposure purposes, because you can organize the content. And if you remember, we kicked off this session by talking about it's all about organized knowledge. If you just get a whole bunch of knowledge, I mean, listen, knowledge is not the problem. Is there enough content on the interwebs about losing weight, about making money? There's libraries, there's all kinds of stuff. You can Google anything, right?
Mhm.
Knowledge is not the problem. The problem is organized knowledge,
Right.
keeping down the overwhelm. So what's really cool about activating social learning feature of your group is now you can think through simple steps. I want you to think 1, 2, 3s, ABCs. Now, as we go through the curriculum, we're going to help you get that dialed in. But essentially, it's you're going to take your person, your customer, your new teammate. We're going to take them on a journey, right?
Right.
It's kind of like going from first grade to 12th grade. There's elevation of content as you develop. So I want you to think about really simple. That's going to be your unit 1. Next level, that would be unit 2, etc. And you can get really organized. And what's awesome, once you get it dialed in, it is going to become its own living organism, which is really, really cool.
Yeah, let us know in the comments if you're already using units, if you have that organization in place. It's so amazing. Like when they first came out with units,
I know.
we were stoked because you can
Fired up.
essentially create units like modules in a training course, just like this program.
Yeah.
Right. So smash the heart button if you're loving this so far, if this is helping you. And again, you can structure all of this inside of your groups so that you have testimonials organized, interviews organized, the videos, everything you need can be organized inside of this group. I think it's super smart to use units and, obviously get the initial groups, the group initially set up, and then worry about the units later. But this is powerful.
And you can use units in any type of the group. So it doesn't have to be the specific type we're recommending. Now, remember, you guys, we're just going to share with you also our best practices, what we found in our 7 years, so however long we've been building online. Essentially, we're going to showcase for you what's moved the needle the most in our business, right? But it's your business. This is your brand. So you pick and choose. It's like a buffet. Find what you like, avoid, you go, oh, this may not work for me, right? But no, you can set up social learning for any type of group. Okay, let us scooch over to step number 7 of setting up your Facebook group. And that's employing some kind of welcome video. You can post it up in unit 1. You can have it as an announcement. I would recommend even do both. So that way it's really simple for people to navigate towards it. But we all know that video. It's just, how many of you, let me just do a poll right now. How many of you would rather watch a 2 to 3 minute video, 4-minute video, 5-minute video versus reading 3 pages of what the group is all about, how it works, and how to, optimize your experience, right? Now, we decided to give you 2 different examples. Okay, so check it out. We're going to cycle back and talk to you about the announcement posts. If you missed our training, we did, a webinar on this, a masterclass. If you missed it, this will be good. If you were there, it's going to be a little bit of a review, but essentially, if it's going to be a product ATM group, it doesn't have to be your face explaining the point of the group. It could be your company videos that showcase your flagship product. Same for the prospecting community. Now, I also wanted to give you guys an example for a training community. So if you're just getting started with the system, you don't have a company, ATM group at all, product or business, and you go, I'm just going to go ahead and start ugly, right? I'm going to start first with the easiest, essentially, path to go ahead and get it up and running. And you're going to start with your team training group, and it's you and your leaders, or however that works. I see so much value in creating a very simple welcome video where you can welcome brand new people. You can introduce yourself. You can introduce the group. You can talk a little bit
tell them
about
where to start,
the vision, the purpose. Remember, clarity equals power.
And this announcements post is really cool because you can also put other contests, giveaways, special promotions inside the announcements post, but you really want to keep that introduction, that welcome post at the top. We always pin the welcome post to the top of the announcements, but you can also add, again, anything that's like a short-term thing, a big promo, something in your group, and pin it also in the announcements as well. And here's some pro tips, really important. So we recommend members and admins approve the posts inside the group. Sometimes you get some people that are a little high maintenance, or they're nasty, they're negative, or they're in there pitching their own stuff. So I do think you should have an approval process. I'm not saying that you don't allow people to post in the group, right? You should allow, but you maybe want to monitor what's being posted and have that member approval so that the admins and moderators can just review it before accepting it.
I love it. Okay, so let's take a quick break. You guys, let us know, how are you doing? Are you yet feeling the fact of, how when you're learning something new and like your brain is put in like a blender and blended with the top off? So are you doing okay? Is this making sense? We have this beautiful little piece, because we get a lot of questions around, well, what kind of content should I load up in my ATM groups to create engagement, to get people, to upgrade, right, their commitment to buy the product, to get started with the business? What should we do? So we compiled our very best content ideas, but I want to do a little bit of a check with you to see how you're doing. Can I create just one ATM group and make units for prospect, products, business information, getting started? Yes, Frank. So if you don't have any other ATM groups right now in existence, that's the perfect strategy to get started. Yes, that's what I would do. I would create one group and then dedicate different units and do it that way.
Yeah, I mean, look, some of our biggest leaders and producers started out with one ATM group or using like our corporate ATM groups. And then they decided to start their own product group, right? Simple, Clean Results is the name of one of them. Another big product group is Suck It Up Buttercup, right? So they eventually these leaders decided to create their own ATM groups. Now, as a team, we do use our own business ATM group for recruiting purposes. But in the beginning, we just used the corporate one. Or for some of you, you might be using your uplines group. And if you don't have it in your company, right, and you say, well, my company doesn't have that, my upline doesn't have that, that's why you're here. So you can learn to do this on your own. Guess what? In the beginning, we didn't know how to do this either. In the beginning, there wasn't a course like this because the ATM system didn't exist. Right? Back in the day when we started our own weekly meeting, we had 7 people at our weekly meeting.
That's right.
Thank God we don't do weekly meetings anymore. But back in the day, we started small. We started ugly. We didn't know what the heck we were doing. You earn while you learn. In the beginning, you're probably gonna do more learning than earning. That's just the way it goes. Eventually, you can remove the L.
I love the analogy. Okay, so this will make sense for those of you guys that are brand new, okay? So when we started in the offline system, all the leaders, the big ones, they were running these huge Saturday events, these huge, weekly opportunity meetings with hundreds, sometimes thousands and thousands of people. So we would plug in as much as we could geographically, available to us, right? But eventually the idea is, as you learn the business basics, as you start to see results, the idea is you want to kind of claim your own hub. You want to start building your own thing. So I'm seeing a lot of people, John, saying, well, I'm kind of new. I don't have any kind of ATM process, right? So I kind of want to also talk a little bit through what would be the steps to identifying, because
and I know I mentioned this earlier, but just to reiterate, we have people that started out with creating their own product ATM group, right? For their customers. They just created their own group. They started adding people. Then once they built a team, they had their team participate in that group. I think it's really important for all of you. And I know I mentioned this in the beginning, but a lot of you got on later on. It's so important for you to acquire customers and make customer acquisition a big part of your business.
Yeah.
If your business is just about recruiting recruiters to recruit recruiters, and you're just trying to figure out how to use this system to build your teams, your business is a pyramid scheme, quite frankly. We get mad when people are like, how dare you call it a pyramid scheme? And it's like, well, do you have customers? Are people getting customers? Now, these days, a lot of people will say, yes, our company is focused on quality products. Yes, we bring on lots of customers. My team is crushing it with customers. But sometimes we get people on here and it's like, they're still stuck in that old school, that old school way of doing things where it's all about recruiting, team building, finding people that want to make money. When the truth is, there's way more people out there that will buy your product than people that will sell your product. And guess who are the easiest people to recruit? People that are
satisfied
interested. Yes.
Customers.
People that are interested in the products that become satisfied customers. So I think the most important thing, let's say you have no team and you're brand new and you're upline, you're sideline. Nobody wants to do this with you.
Yes.
Start your own private group just for the purpose of acquiring customers. And the group's purpose doesn't have to just be talking about the products. It could be a fitness community where you promote your products. So I don't want to go too much on a rant about this, but I do think it's important for us to understand that everybody starts small. Everybody starts with, hey, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm going to figure this out as I go. But some of you do have an upline that would be engaged in this idea. They would be interested, sideline, that you can work together. Like I have some leaders on my team. They created their own ATM group for their teams. They don't make money on each other, but they love working with each other. And they've created their own groups together for the purpose of customer acquisition. So their whole team adds every prospect that expresses interest in the products to the group, and they work together to help their teams acquire more customers and build a strong customer base. Because who cares if we get a customer if they never order again? Yeah. Who cares if we get a customer that doesn't love our products? And by the way, a lot of times they don't love the products because no one really followed up with them to make sure they were using them or using them appropriately. Or, how many of us, if you've ever sold weight loss or you've been involved in nutrition, selling those types of supplements, you understand that sometimes people don't get quick results. It took years to put on the weight. The weight isn't just going to fall off overnight, right? Mm-hmm. So it's really good to have like mindset content in there and give them advice and tips and, don't just try to sell the product. You want them to get results on your product. And I know I talk a lot about health and fitness and weight loss, but two things. Number one, it's the easiest one for me to use as an example. So you got to figure out what are the benefits of your said product, your service. And then also figure out like, what are the best testimonials, right? What are some of the best results people have gotten? And obviously sometimes they're not like extreme results. Sometimes they're minor results, but you know what? If someone loses 5 inches or 5 pounds, sometimes that's just as exciting because people go, oh, I believe that. That sounds more believable. Yeah. Some people just want to get rid of 5 pounds. But anyway, so most companies do have some type of weight loss product. And again, for us, it's the easiest one to use as an example. But if you're not selling weight loss, you're not doing nutrition, no problem. You're doing makeup, you're doing travel service, you're doing something, Forex trading. You just need to figure out what gets people off the fence. And I can tell you one thing that gets them off the fence is value first. Yeah. The reason people bought this ATM Academy is they learned from us for weeks, months, maybe years. They were following us for a long time. And they finally said, you know what? What else do they offer? Mm-hmm. Because they got so much value from us for free. Yeah. Right? This is a major key. They loved our content that when we made an offer, something that did have a price tag, something that did have a cost, people bought it immediately. They didn't think twice. So I hope that makes some sense. But inside that ATM group, you're going to show people results, testimonials, before and afters. You're going to encourage your customers to share the results. Because here's the thing. It's powerful for you to give shout outs and recognize people that are getting value from the products and services, but it's even more powerful when you start having your customers post in the group. Now, I will say this, I don't think you should have people in the group expressing their complaints or if they're having issues or they're upset about something. Like, I don't think the ATM group should be customer service. Yes. So the admins and moderators can get together and figure out, hey, look, if we get someone complaining or maybe someone's being nasty in the comments, we're going to kick them out. But if someone has a valid issue, a valid concern, let's address it privately. Let's not have someone say, hey, I've been taking the product for a week now and I'm having trouble swallowing the pills. Like, this is disgusting, or the drink is gross. Like, those types of things, maybe have the person that ATM that person, or the person that sold that product to that customer, have them deal with that privately, maybe set up a group chat with the distributor and the customer. Like, I think it's good to have people asking questions in the group, encouraging engagement. It's okay for that, but you don't want like negativity, because remember, the purpose of the group, even though we want to lead with value, we want it to be all inclusive, we want it to be exciting and people want to participate. I want you to remember, the real purpose of the group is what? Selling.
Yes.
To get some freaking customers, to make some money. Anyway, I hope that makes sense.
I love it. So can I pause you before you move on?
Sure.
A couple of thoughts, right? Because I'm also monitoring questions and comments. When you have, so for those of you guys that already have a system that you are employing in your business that's creating results, you don't want to just drop it and start with something new. Okay. Right. So you want to, like, instead of recruiting your team that's already doing something that's working, let them do that. And then you take 20% of your time and you start to build alongside. That's how we've done anytime that we pivot, just because it doesn't make much business sense to drop what you're doing that's working to start something from scratch, because any new strategy, it's going to take some fine tuning and things like that to employ, right?
Such a good point.
Then when you think about content creation for your groups, I want you to jot this down, please. When you hear the same question more than twice, you should translate it as a sign from the universe to create a piece of content so you don't have to repeat yourself, right? I want you to always think to yourself and question this in your mind. Is my business me dependent, or is my business system dependent?
Boom.
And there's only so many questions. You know what I mean? Like, after a while, you're going to notice that people ask essentially the same questions over and over and over again. Right. So if you really want to optimize your productivity, you want to optimize your business, it makes sense that we start to think about, oh, here's a question that keeps showing up. Right. I'm going to record either a quick video, create a little bit of a value post or with my FAQ. 3 tips. FAQ.
Have an FAQ with like, can I take this product when I'm pregnant? What if I'm diabetic? And a lot of those responses, because you want to be careful with medical claims, you might say, hey, refer to your physician, ask your doctor, we can't give medical advice. So I think it's really important to think through that. And again, even if you don't have all of these pieces in place in the beginning, it's all good. It's all good, because you're going to pay attention, like Nadia mentioned, to the questions, the things that keep coming up, and you can record short little videos, create that FAQ, and have that as a part of the group. Also, another really big thing we love doing is shout outs, recognition, rank advancement, welcome to the team, or shout out to Rebecca. She's been on the products for 30 days, already lost 10 pounds. OMG, so proud of you. You could do giveaways, cash giveaways, product giveaways. You could do giveaways for people that put up a referral post on their wall promoting your products. You can run contests, challenges. Here's some great examples. Yes, a lot of this is geared towards health and nutrition, weight loss, because again, that's our wheelhouse. And I think most of you are probably in that space. But if you're not, and you're doing Forex trading, right? You're doing makeup, you're doing CBD oil, figure out ways to run special offers, special promotions, 7-day, 5-day challenges, creating some excitement in the group to get people more engaged, to then backdoor them into promoting the products, right? You could do demonstrations. You could do a makeup demo. You could do product demos. You can interview people that are having success in the business, interview people that are having success on the products, right? There's so many creative ways for you to create content. If you just think outside the box, get other admins going live and sharing their stories. We do that a lot in our groups, where we'll have people do short little 15-minute stories / sharing some tips. I always think it's important. This is something we teach a lot. We were teaching this at the mastermind this weekend. Lead with education, lead with empowerment, lead with entertainment, right? The TikToks that do best are entertaining, empowering, or educational. Same thing with Facebook Lives, same thing with Instagram, same thing with your Facebook group, right? All of this should be common sense. It should be common sense that you want to do just more value than you ask in return. If this isn't common sense, hopefully this is your wake-up call that if your group isn't doing well, you're not asking questions, you're not engaging, you're not doing giveaways, you're not mixing it up, you're not having other people post in the group. That all right there is fire. I hope you got something out of that. You could host a live opportunity broadcast. We're going to be doing one of those on Wednesday night. And here's what we're doing. Just to give you an example. Now, this is a little extreme. I know some of you are going to be like, oh my gosh. But our leaders got together and we're essentially doing, throughout the month, we did weekly cash giveaways, a grand prize weekly or monthly cash giveaway. And I'm doing a Peloton giveaway. I'm paying for a Peloton. Now, some of you are going to go, oh my gosh, I can't afford that. I mean, I get that, but that's like an extreme example. Look, I want you to start thinking big. I want you to start painting a vision for what you want your life to look like, what you want your business to look like. Maybe it's not right now you can just give away a freaking Peloton, but maybe right now you could give away a $50 Amazon gift card. But down the road, wouldn't that be awesome if you could give away a Peloton, if you could give away one of those mirrors? What are they called? The new workout mirror. The point is, right? You can find ways for you and your teammates to collaborate, product giveaways, cash giveaways, incentivizing activity, incentivizing people to use your products, or incentivizing people to put posts up on their wall. So Wednesday night, we're going to do an opportunity broadcast, but at the end, we're going to announce the winner of the grand prize for the Peloton. Think about how smart that is. Everybody's going to have to sit through the presentation, and it won't be really a presentation. It'll be more conversational, but they're going to sit through and hear all about our products, our story, our company. They're going to hear from leaders. And at the end, we do the Peloton giveaway. So people are going to have to stay till the end. Do you get it? Is this giving you some ideas, some excitement of what to do as far as content creation? You can also, like we mentioned, have before and afters.
Yeah, so I just wanted to show this and really explain psychology behind why people love any demonstration of results, because people don't buy your product, right? They're buying the results that your product promises, whether it's, health and wellness, makeup, all the different services that you market. You should really hyper focus on how can we showcase the results. And this is why we're going to talk about in module 5 about TikTok, short form video content where you can snap a finger and go from this to this. There's so many cool ways now to be very creative in the way that you show it. Anyways, but when you're able to demonstrate results in your group, and then now when you have somebody that's in the group and they're on the fence, they're not yet quote unquote sold on the product, you can then tag your prospect in those testimonials, right? Now, again, it's not going to happen overnight. You're going to build this thing out. You're not going to write your book, right, in one day. There's different chapters. It's a process. It's a flow. Remember, start ugly, and then you're going to build on top of it as you go. Now, for those of you guys that joined us a little late, right? I want to explain to you what is happening yet again really fast.
Before you explain that, I know a lot of questions have come through. This would be the time to ask your questions as Nadia is explaining this. I know sometimes it takes a little while for them to type up the question. Maybe we missed it. Maybe you got your answer from someone else, but you're still curious what we think. So if you have questions, this would be a good time to drop them in the comments. We'll monitor that while Nadia is explaining this.
Yeah. And also if you have an amazing takeaway, and I want you to also think about that. What is your number one takeaway from today's session? We want to be able to screenshot it, and we want to brag about you, and we want to watch you and monitor your progress, right? But let us know, what is the number one takeaway so far? And what is that question that you have that has to do specifically with today's curriculum? Okay. Because tomorrow at noon, noon, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we're going to show up and we're going to deliver new session. But the session from today is going to be removed tomorrow at 11:59 a.m. So you have 24 hours essentially, depending on when you're watching this. But every day we're going to deliver curriculum content. 24 hours later, we're going to take it down. For those of you that go, guys, I want the PDFs that go along with this curriculum. Like for an example, the 7 steps to setting up your Facebook group, we have a PDF that you are able to print out, and then you can follow those instructions. Tomorrow, when we get into the ATM prospecting process and we showcase scripts and we get into the nitty gritty closing follow-up, all of that, we have that in PDFs as well as we continue with the curriculum.
And it's 97, right?
It's $97 right now.
I just want everyone to understand, it's literally 66% off right now.
Yes.
Throughout the week, it'll be 97, but we raised the price to $297. So if you don't get the ATM Business Academy this week, then if you said, hey, I'm going to buy it next week, that's fine, but it'll be $297 versus right now. During this week alone, you can get the replays, you can get access, lifetime access to everything, all the documents, everything. Because this is live right now. We're going to take this down, edit it, and make this module 1. The point is $97 to have lifetime access to this content. There's people that bought this academy years ago when we first launched it, right? Yeah. Now that content is outdated at this point, but they get all the new updates. They get this content automatically. And now some of you are going to say, how is it this cheap? Number one, we're awesome like that. Yes, we are that awesome. Number two, here's the real truth. This is not our number one or even top, focus as far as like course sales. And this is not, our focus is our network marketing business. That's our primary income stream. We make multiple 6 figures a month in our network marketing company. And I'm not saying that to be braggadocious, say, oh, look at us, but we're in the top 100 income earners in network marketing. We don't need to sell $500 courses. That's not our focal point, right? So we want this to be accessible and available to you. And also, most importantly, think about it. Your whole team can purchase this course, this program, and have access to the PDFs, lifetime recordings, all the things at 66% off this week. So I just want to make sure you knew this. Take a screenshot of this. And yeah, $97 is, quite honestly, people are like, why do you not charge more? Because it's not our focus.
It's honestly, for us, it's a labor of love.
Yes.
Like, we really are so grateful to have the success that we've experienced. And we had so many people along our journey that were just showcasing their answers. So we love it. We want to love on you. We want to bring you the best value. And if you're already a student of our ATM Business Academy, you don't have to register again. Once it's ready, you're going to have access to the recordings.
Yes. Okay, so let's do some of these questions. I'm going to try to do them in order. So first one, did TikTok ban MLM? Colleen, technically, yes, they did. And it's interesting, right? Because if you actually look at the policy of a lot of these social platforms, like their fine print, a lot of them don't want MLM on their platform. And the truth is, you know what? You might have your account shut down. This is why you want to be on multiple platforms. Yes. This is why you always want to diversify. And I mentioned this in the beginning. I don't know if we'll be talking about TikTok a year from now, but short form videos is here to stay, number one. Number two, we don't promote that we're in an MLM on social media. In fact, on social media, just in general, like we talk about, it's better to brand you. It's better to lead with product. Look, they're not going to ban affiliate marketing. So if a big influencer, a fitness, personality is out there trying to sell their protein shake, right? Or they have others selling their protein shakes, that's going to be allowed. So I would almost treat TikTok like affiliate marketing, where I'm promoting the product, leading with the product. Now, could TikTok shut you down for that? Sure. So could Facebook, so could Instagram, right? All those things are absolute possibilities. Now, we could have a whole other conversation about you building an email list. You could build a text message list to capture leads. There's so many things you could do. But at the end of the day, with social media, you are renting that platform. You don't own it, right? Yeah. You're using it as a tool for your business, but it shouldn't be the end all be all. With that being said, we have people crushing it on TikTok. They are selling more product on TikTok per month than they sold all of last year on all platforms combined. So we're not too worried about it. We also don't teach our people to be very boastful and loud about being an MLM. But I know some people that are still like MLM this, MLM that all over TikTok, and their accounts are still wide open. I just think ultimately be smart about the content over there.
Yeah.
80% of the time, you should not be selling or promoting your business, if not 90% of the time. But if you're going to promote product over there. Right?
I love
Lead
it.
with product, create curiosity. We'll talk more about that, I think, on Friday.
Yes.
With TikTok and creating curiosity.
Yes.
So great question, though. We get that often.
All right. Do you want me to read some questions I have for you?
Well, these are in order right here. I have them.
Oh, okay.
So Cynthia says, what do you mean Facebook has
Do you guys love my
a
glasses?
dial-in format? Cynthia, all we're saying is Facebook just has groups figured out. That's it. They have groups figured out. That's all that. When I say dialed in, it means they got it figured out. Sharon says, love the content ideas.
Yeah, baby, give a couple shout outs. I want to see.
Angeline says live opportunities, Zoom, and do giveaways. Awesome. That was her biggest takeaway. My group has little engagement. Good. Well, hopefully this will help you, Sharon. Alexandra says, never thought of creating my own ATM group. Genius. Yeah, definitely do it. Maggie says 2 takeaways: expose, involve, upgrade, why before and afters, and social proof. Yes.
Love
now,
it.
I will say this. Somebody said they're going to create their own ATM group. If you're already a part of an ATM group, I wouldn't create my own. I would only create my own if it doesn't exist right now, or maybe you're in one that's just like terrible. I guess that's possible, but it's better to have the collaboration of the team versus having just your own. It's just some people don't have one, so we would recommend they start their own.
Alexandra says, how long do I get access? So to the recordings, once you enroll in the Academy, and today we have the special price for you, you're going to have lifetime access. So anytime we go to upgrade the upgrade the Academy, right? You get grandfathered into it. Okay.
Yes. Exactly.
Karen says, I don't have a downline other than a few customers. How or would I try doing an ATM group?
So here's the thing though, that's out of order. I'm trying to do them in order.
So these, I also wanted the team to pull.
Oh, because they were from earlier?
Yeah, from earlier today.
So Karen says, I don't really have a network that I can plug into. How would you suggest starting out? Well, we answered that, right? You start your own customer group.
I don't have a downline.
Oh, she had a second one. I don't have a downline other than a few customers. How or would I try doing an ATM group? Well, I would start out as a customer group. So we did answer that, baby. That was the one where, start your own group to acquire customers. So you could have before and afters. You could have, it depends on what you're selling, right? But you want to have content. Everything we talked about today, you can create your own group just to promote your product. I would start with my hero product. So some people will say, what's a hero product? Well, if you have 20 products, 50 products, what are the top seller? What are the top sellers, right? What's the top seller or top sellers? I would have that be the focal point of the group. Now, some companies only have 3 products. So, promote all 3 products in that group.
Okay, John, here's one more thing, right?
Okay.
Let's talk about how do I respond when my team isn't on board? So we had that question come in a couple of times. So give us a little bit of like mindset. How do we do it?
Yeah. So Nikki, great question. Who cares if they're not on board? Just like our upline wasn't on board when we wanted to build on social media in 2011 and 12. Well, 13 is when we went all in with it.
Right.
But even before that, we were using Facebook to connect with people, and they would say it's a waste of time. They were wrong, right? So let them be right. Let your team be right, and you go get rich. You go create the success. The problem is you probably aren't having much success in your business, so they're not going to listen to you. You know what gets attention?
Yeah.
You going out there and showing them
results.
What's up. You go show them how it's done. All right. So that's a major key.
Should we have a customer group and a team training group, or just one?
Can I do these in order? Because there's questions that came in.
Is this bothering you, baby?
Well, I mean, you're answering questions where someone else's question came in first. So Judy says, I want access to the Academy. Is that lifetime, or do I need to purchase the lifetime? $99 is amazing. If you won the Academy, you should have lifetime access. So you're good. If we offer services and are doing the ATM on our own, how would you recommend going about it? And what type of group should I make? Natasha, I don't know what kind of service you have, but what are your top selling services? What are the testimonials, right? Start creating content in that group, educating people on your services, the benefits, sharing testimonials, maybe highlight some customers up in that group. How do we market essential services on TikTok? We'll talk about that on Friday. So we'll go more into detail. I don't want to do a TikTok training right now because we're going to do that on Friday. I loved your TikTok video you guys did last. Oh, thank you, Janice.
Aw.
I'm proud to already be a member of your ATM Academy,
Yeah,
says
Jack.
Jack. Yeah, buddy. I love your glasses on you. You are beautiful. I agree.
Aw.
She is so sexy, with or without. With or without.
Maybe you're
Truth
biased.
be told. Another compliment to your glasses.
Thank you.
This definitely works. Amazing. Love your. Everyone loves your glasses, baby.
Of course.
Should we have a
And
customer
it's good
group?
for your eyeballs, you know? Okay.
Natasha says, should we have a customer group and a team training group? You should definitely have one of each. I don't think you should add customers to a training group, my opinion. Most companies have, I mean, it's very rare that I meet a leader in a company that doesn't have a training group already. Like a training group on Facebook is like, almost everybody has that. I can't imagine a network marketing leader, someone in your upline not already having a training group. I would not add customers to that. I would start my own. So
but remember, just start with one, you know, get one up and running, and then you can add on. Because what's really, really cool, you guys, this is why we love this ATM process, this ATM workflow, is once you get it dialed in the first time, right? It's kind of like having multiple kids. How many of you, let me know in the comments, do you have children? How many do you have? You know, remember when we first had Dylan? Good Lord. I was nervous to do every little piece of parenting, right?
Overthinking.
But yes, but then the second one comes around and you feel way more comfortable. There's way less learning curve. And then for those of you all that have 3+, that's a land I don't understand. I don't know how you do it.
You're outnumbered.
In my books, you are my hero, right? But it's very, very same.
Yeah.
So you trying to get, you know, 2 groups up and running at the same time. It's like having twins, I think would be the analogy I'd want to demonstrate for you. Hence my recommendation, just start with one, get it up and running, identify your units, identify your workflows, get comfortable with it. And then the learning curve, you get it now done. And then when you open up a second group with school, you're going to get that one up and running so much quicker because you're just bringing the same curriculum, the same workflows over here, but just the purpose is a little different. Make sense?
Very good, baby. Rekha Laforti says, I love that we can combine product and business in one group. Yeah, you totally can.
Yes.
You can make the group mostly about the products because again, it goes back to what I said earlier. If the products are not standalone where people are excited about the products, how is someone going to build a business? Think about this. Imagine being a realtor and you don't like homes.
Oh.
You're like, I don't like houses. I like living outside. I like RV, like a joke. This is an obvious one, right? If you're getting a real estate license, you probably like homes. But does that make sense? Like, you better like the product. So there should absolutely be value about the products in your ATM group. And then you could just have a unit that's about the business and how you can make money referring those products. You could just start out like that. Very simple. Craig says that's going to be tough. We have over 3,000 products. That's great. You have over 3,000 products, but at the end of the day, which ones are you most excited about?
I would lead with one. Yeah. And if you're struggling with that, I would also make sure you don't pick something that's really cheap. Like,
find something that has
more profit margin. It's a little bit of an expense, like not
$100 products, or maybe a system, a kit. A 3-in-1, 5-in-1, right? Maybe you create a bundle. So I would definitely 100% agree with Nadia. Judy also says, are you saying to start a group and ATM them to that instead of healthy living? Judy, so this training is a generic training with people from all different network marketing companies. I'm not saying for you to create your own ATM group. I was saying that for people that don't have one currently to plug people into. Jamie says, building my first team, going to start my own ATM group. No one else is doing this in my upline, downline. Yeah. So if in your company, you don't have an ATM group, you create your own. And again, I would recommend starting with a product / customer acquisition ATM group. And then, oh, by the way, there's also a business side to what we do. So here's the only thing. You just don't want to create a situation where people feel like, oh, your only purpose is to try to recruit me and they won't even buy your product, right? Like, I want to make sure that if someone is interested in the product, now I might ask them if they're open to take a look at the business, but if they're not, let's say they're another network marketing company, or they're just not even interested in the business until they try a product. I don't want them to feel bad about that. right? I want them to feel great about, I'm like, awesome. You want to try the product? Fantastic. You want to see how the product works first? Fantastic. Now, of course, we want them to take a look at the business, but maybe let them fall in love with the products first. And by the way, if they try a bunch of products and they hate them all and they don't want to have anything to do, great, then I don't want to recruit that person, right? I mean, hello. Anywho, hope that makes sense. Jenny says, haha, you guys crack me up. Good. We do have a lot of fun. We like to entertain.
Indeed.
Judy says, y'all are amazing mentors.
Aww.
Alexandra says, love your guys' energy. How do I do a live Zoom while streaming on Facebook? Oops. I think Kyle already responded to that with a tutorial. It's in the comments.
Cool. Mm-hmm.
I love my ATM Academy already, says Cecilia. Awesome sauce. We have a separate team training group. Angeline, good. Thank you so much. I'm doing this on my own, and no one has it that I know of yet. And maybe ask. Maybe if you have like a team group or there's somewhere you can communicate with other distributors, maybe ask, does anyone use the ATM system in ABC company?
Yes.
Maybe just ask around. You never know. Someone might be doing it. Stacy says, you guys are such great leaders and trainers. So glad I found you guys 3 years ago. Oh, thank you, Stacy. Stacy is a perfect example of a traditional business owner. Like she's in real estate. Her real estate business uses the ATM system. So pretty sweet. Yvonne, 2 kids. Oh, this is the kid question. How often do you recommend to post content in the groups? You know, Maria, it's a really interesting question. We get it often. It's tough to answer that. And here's why. I don't think there's an amount that I'm going to post per day, but I always try to find something once a day that I want to recognize, maybe a tip. Maybe I want to do a shout out. Maybe I want to see, but some days I might post in an ATM group 4, 5, 6 times because I'm recognizing people, shouting out people. Could be more than that when it's the end of the month and there's a bunch of rank advancements. So I don't really get hung up on like how many times I should post, because again, it should be the collective effort of the community. Everyone could be posting in that group. If you have a really big group, you might have posts all day, every day. You're not keeping track like, hold on, wait, we already did 10 today. Stop. It makes sense? So I wouldn't get too hung up on that. But if you're just building it from scratch, you're starting it up, try to ask questions in the beginning, try to go live maybe once a week or a couple times a week, like find different ways, as we mentioned in this session, how you can show up in the group. At least I think if you're just starting out, at least once a day, you post something that people would find of interest, empowering, educational, entertaining, etc. Pio says, LOL, we have 3. As soon as you are outnumbered, you learn how to become the myth of multi. Exactly. Yeah. Once you're outnumbered. Love the bundle idea, says Cecilia. Angela says, do you know if I post in one of my groups and then share it to another group, if that share counts as an additional post in the Facebook algorithm world? I don't know. And even if it does, even if the answer is yes today, it might be no tomorrow, because they're always messing with the algorithm.
But if the group is private and you do a post in a private group, and then you're saying you're taking that post from a private group and you're sharing it to another private group, so the only people that are going to see it are members of both private groups. So here's what I would do is, I am not a fan of taking the same exact post and then just posting it everywhere. I would take,
unless it's a live video.
Right.
Let's say somebody's live in one group.
Yeah.
And you can share that in this group. But again, you got to make sure everybody in that other private group, like you said, is in that first group. Otherwise, they're not going to see it. They're going to be like, what is this? Attachment unavailable.
Yeah, that's what it's going to say. Attachment unavailable. But I would maybe post it at a different time of day. I would maybe add like a photo. You guys, listen, when it comes to content, it's like an art and a science. Is there an algorithm in play? Yes. Can you potentially be sabotaging your own posts if you're posting too often? You don't want to do that. And then there's also the element of like, some people are visual, some people love to read. I like to mix it up. Everything in moderation is the way that I think through my content. Number 1. Number 2, mix up your modality. So if you have like a little image and then a copy, no, some people love to read, so they're just going to read. Some people love images, so they're going to engage with the images. And then if you can do both of them in the same post, you can essentially, reach more people that way, but with each group, it's like, you're going to play with the different content, play with how often should you be posting. I would say 1-3 times a day. And then once you establish the group, then you're going to have more feedback, right? You want to then keep an eye on your analytics. Every group as an admin, you're able to go in and see what are people engaging with, who are your
Right.
top
So cool. You
members.
can see the
Yeah, so there's no more
demographics.
guessing,
Yeah.
like,
Demographics are helpful. Like the average
yeah,
age, female, man.
right.
Yeah, that's
And then another really beautiful idea for those of you guys that have established groups is you can go and you can pull your numbers, your analytics, and see who are your top most engaged members. And then why not just send them a message and say, hey, Amy, like, thank you so much for the energy you bring to the group. What are your favorite type of posts that you would love to see more of? Sometimes we forget the very foundation, to what it is that we're doing. We're building a business for people. We're in the people business. So whenever in doubt, just go to your analytics. Whenever in doubt, talk to the people that are your best customers. Somebody asked me actually the other day, like, how do you figure out your avatar? Like, who do I talk to when I do a live video or I'm creating post and like when I'm creating content, who should I think about? I go simple. Just think about your favorite teammate or your favorite customer, your favorite person you've ever worked with, and just pick that person's brain. Like, what is their psyche? What do they love most? And then just speak to that and focus on bringing value to that one person. And when you do that and you're that targeted and you're that specific, what's going to happen for you is you're going to have this audience of people that now is going to say, dude, I feel like you're talking directly to me. So focus on the one person, identify that one person, poll your people, look at your statistics, and then do more of what works. Do less of what doesn't, or the stuff that doesn't do that well. I would bring curiosity and fascination instead of frustration. And I would ask myself, okay, well, what's the reason why this post didn't do well? Is it the modality of it? Maybe if I do like a live video, it's going to reach more people. Maybe if I ask a question, so you're prompting people to engage. Now you want to avoid fishing for comments,
right.
Fishing for compliments, fishing for, hey, drop a like on this post.
Where it's like real obvious.
Yes. Okay, cool. I hope that helps.
So here's the thing. We got to wrap this up, and there was a lot more questions coming through. So I already dropped our cell number. So there's our cell number somewhere in the comments. For some reason, I can't pull up additional comments here.
Okay.
But we just dropped our cell number in the chat so that you can ask questions and either us or our team will respond. It's 443-241-2725. That's in the comments. So if there's questions we missed, that's there in the comments for you. You can text us there and you'll join our text messaging community. I did see a question about follow-up and closing. We'll talk more about that, I think, in session 3.
I'm going to pull it up right now.
Session 3, we'll talk more about that. Melissa, I totally agree. Wait 90 minutes between posting anything, anywhere. You want to give it some time to get some traction on Facebook. Couldn't agree more. It does kind of stink because I'm in a bunch of groups. I have my personal wall, and sometimes I want to post a bunch of stuff real quick, and it does sabotage the other posts. Sometimes it is what it is, but if you can, try to separate your posts at least an hour or two inside of groups. Jackie says, my customer group I made for customers only. People started adding others to it, and I removed a few because they weren't customers. Do you think I should have left them? I would say yes, because they could become customers, right? This is the whole point of an ATM group, is to add prospects and tag them in information, add, tag, message. And then you send them a message. Hey, I added you to the groups, or added you to this group. Well, let me know when you accept the invite and I'll tag you. You can see the rest of the curriculum. I want to be clear. Every day this week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 12 p.m. Eastern, we're going live. You'll have access to the training for free for 24 hours. Then it's gone unless you purchase the ATM Business Academy or already have access to it. But these are the different sessions. So I'd recommend you're here every single day this week. Share this with your teams. Hopefully you got value. I'm going to do one last question, then we're going to wrap it up.
Love it. Thank you.
Cecilia says, when my posts don't have
Can you start again?
Start with again.
In case I want to repurpose this beautiful question, and I was talking and you started talking, do it.
I don't know what I said. I just said I'm going to answer one last question, but any additional questions, text message us.
Yes, go ahead.
So I'm going to answer one more question, then we're going to wrap it up. Is that what you meant? All right.
5 days in a row, every day.
Of course, Nadia is messing with the buttons. Shocker. Although you did pretty good today. You didn't mess with me too much. How many times should we post on our personal page a day? Oh, Kevin, I would only post 1 to 2 times on my personal profile. Let me answer that last question though. I was reading it and you threw me off.
So
Nadia
good.
Milton. Cecilia Ballard says, when my posts don't have engagement, I take it down. Yeah, that's not a question, but that's a good point. If a post is really bad in the first hour or two, you can always delete it. I don't think that's a bad idea at all. Oh, Angeline says, I love your ATM Academy course. It helped us recruit 23 new members in 6 weeks. And I've made 4,100 in sales and profits.
What?
Bang, bang.
I love
that.
I love
Were there any
it.
additional questions that came through? I think I missed a bunch, but you can text message us. Again, we're going to wrap it up. We're going to be donezo. Audi 5000. All right, that's it. We're done.
All right, guys.
You guys love
Thank
it?
you so much.
I hope you did. Listen, we're excited for this week. It's going to be a lot of information. This is why you should purchase the replays so you have lifetime access. But even if you can just be on live with us and have 24-hour access, you're going to get a ton of value. It's going to be amazing. Share this with your teams. This is the live re-recording of our ATM Business Academy. It's going to be off the hook all week long. It's going to be fire. And we're going live today, as always, for another episode of Money Monday, 5 p.m. Eastern. It's going to be a long day today, baby.
I know.
But it's
I'm
Money
excited.
Monday. And we're
All right.
recharged from being in Key West all weekend. So we're ready to crush.
Oh my gosh, baby. You're
All right,
so
y'all.
full of knowledge
95,000.
and insights. Bye, guys. Go crush it. See you soon.